I recently found a new use for my model cycles. I work nights and I sleep during the day, and so I always have some kind of noise machine or noise app playing in the background. Otherwise, I just wouldn't be able to sleep. The model cycles is great at making drone type sounds. And so I gave it a shot and came up with something that worked really well. I'm going to share it here, and if anyone finds it interesting or useful, great. Here is how I set it up. It's usually a combination of three sounds. We got the kick on track one, that's just how it is. We got the snare on track two, and then usually it's metal on three, and so I changed the machine to perk. We'll mess with perk last, but the base of it is the kick. You can also use the tone machine, but I just find it kick works well for me. So what I do is I go and I put a trig on the first step, and then I change that trig. I hold it down, change it to infinite. And then I change the chance for this trig to first only. So what we get is we get one trig that plays infinitely from the first. So then I copy this, and then I go to track two, and then I paste it. So now we have two trigs that will play first time and play infinitely. Oh, one other thing is I put the gate on for each of these. So that way they play infinitely. And it sounds like this, which isn't that great yet. So I'm going to mute track 2 and 3 just for a sec. So all we have is the kick track. Great. That's not bad already. I come here to color, and I bring it up just a bit. For the default is pretty low. I bring it up just a bit to introduce some more mid-range content in this one sound. I like that. And shape, sometimes I use that as well. But that is introduces sharper tones into it, so I don't use it a ton, but I like that. That's a good start. And then after this, so again, I'm still on track one. I go to the LFO page, and then I change this to a sine wave. I drop the speed a bit, and you'll see why in a sec. And then I go to color, and then that's the destination, and then the depth I'll put up to like about 15 or so, and you can hear it already. Just this wave sound. I'm gonna change where it is on the color. If I turn it up, it becomes more pronounced just because it's affecting well, I don't know exactly what's going on. Each of these knobs does a lot of stuff. I like that. It's a bit too pronounced for me, but I'm going to leave it there for a sec so I can hear what happens when I change the LFO, because it is a little fast for me. So I'm going to change the LFO. That's sounding good for me. It sounded good for me. So now that I have the LFO at the speed that I want, then I'm going to drop this back down. And then I'm going to turn this down to like about 10. So that's a nice subtle. See, I might change the shape. That seems a little bit high. So there's some subtlety here, but I'm digging that. I'm going to save it real quick. There we go. Yes. I'm going to unmute track 2, and then I'm going to start it over again. So there's going to be a transient at the beginning, but you won't hear it again because these one trigs will only play on the first time, and then after that they play infinitely. So that transient doesn't really matter. But here we go. Okay, the noise is a little bit loud, but that noise now you can hear is just the snare sound, the way they have it set up. with the gate going infinitely. Okay, that's a pretty good balance right there. I like that. Let's see. Now, so color I don't use actually much on this one. I find that it introduces like this high-end whine. You can hear it. I mean, if so, it's a noise. So if you like that, then great. That's just a bit too upfront for me. So here is one thing, is that the color does introduce that noise that you can hear. You can tune that in relation to track 1. So like a fifth or minor third or anything that you want. And so I do like that. That's really where we're at for the bass tone. I'll change the volume balance between the kick and the snare, or the noise and the bass drone. To taste. The next thing I do to kind of make it a bit more spacious is I bring it really high, the reverb size really high, just not infinite, and then I'll press track, and then I'll send all the tracks, put some reverb on there. Okay, great. So we've got a pretty drony sound. I find that I like it to be very bass heavy, because there's a lot of construction, a lot of trucks driving, and so the bass notes really help to drown that out. But that's up to you. Last but not least, okay, we go to the perk track, and I'm gonna unmute that. I'm going to just lay down a bunch of trigs, but before I do that, I'm going to turn the chance down to like 10%. Okay. Sometime maybe less. Okay. Now this is the one that I will send to delay, and so sometimes the sleep apps that I've used have water drops options, which I enjoy, just not super loud. So that's what this is supposed to do. Okay, here you go. So that can be a little bit loud. So I definitely don't have it super up front. I usually drop it, but I want you to be able to hear the sweep sound, because the sweep kind of changes the envelope a bit, and so to make it more water droplet. Okay, then the delay time, that's too fast for me. I might change the pitch. Drop the decay a bit, which makes the envelope go faster as well. Alright, so there we go. And then so I'll change this to random, and then I'll go to sweep, and then I'll go. Okay, sorry about the shake on the camera. So anyway, I've also messed around with, instead of doing the wave form up here, doing envelope, which would work as well. There's a lot more to explore there, but what I'll do then is I drop the volume down on this, on the perk track. So I hope you found this interesting. The best would be if I put you to sleep. If I did, please let me know. I will take that as a compliment, no matter how it was meant. And take care.